Most business owners I work with are generally good at what they do, like really good. Their clients get results, they pay them well, they refer them. But here's the thing, the people who could benefit the most from working with them have no idea they exist. And every single week that is costing them clients and deals. And it's costing you. So hey, I'm Blake DeVos, I run Impact Group Publishing. We help coaches, consultants, and service-based businesses become published authors in 6 months. And in this video, I wanna show you something I've noticed. Now, most business owners I talk to, they're killing it in their actual work. It's not Instagram followers, not vanity metrics, it's real decision makers. So people with budget, people with the exact problem you solve. And most of the time, the answer is almost nobody. And that's the situation most experts are in right now. And I want to show you what changes when you're not. So think about this for a second. You're sitting on a sales call, first time talking to this person, and they don't know you yet. What happens? So you spend the first call explaining who you are, what you do, why you're different. Then you might get them on a second call and they're deciding if they actually believe you or not. The third call, maybe you're actually talking about working together. Sometimes that's how it goes, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they might say no on the first go. But by the time they're ready to hire you, you've spent 3 hours of your time just proving that you know what you're talking about. Now, here's what I've noticed. That never really changes, and every single new prospect comes in at zero, apart from referrals. But you have to start from scratch with them. So yeah, your current clients, they know you're good. That doesn't help with the stranger on a call who's comparing you to like 3 or 4 other people in your industry. So here's something that happens to almost every consultant coach I meet. You're worth more than you're charging. And it's not because your fees are too low, it's because the people buying from you don't have enough information to trust at a higher price yet. Now, think about this. A potential client calls you, they don't know you, they Google you with like 3 similar options and they all come up. Now, since they can't tell the difference between you and the other 2 people, they do what everyone does. They pick based on price. So you walk into that call already defending your rate instead of talking about value, and please do not talk your price down. So you end up negotiating down every single time. Now, I've watched this happen to consultants. I've done it before as well, and people who are honestly better than people charging triple their rate. The difference isn't the work that you do, it's just visibility. So naturally you try and fix it. So you like start posting LinkedIn, TikTok, all the gurus tell you the same thing, post every fucking day. So you do it for 6 months and then what happens? You're exhausted. You've created 100 pieces of content, you're burnt out, and your business looks exactly the same as it did when you first started. Now, here's the problem with this approach. It only works when you're constantly feeding it. So you stop posting because you're burnt out, then the visibility stops and you're trapped on this treadmill, on this content treadmill that you just keep going on and on and on. Now, meanwhile, the hours you've spent on that content, those hours could have gone to something that actually compounds. So here's what it's costing you. Now, let me be real about the cost of being invisible. So right now, somewhere in your market, somewhere in Switzerland, somewhere in Thailand, someone's looking to help get their problems solved and you've got the answer. They have the budget, they're ready to move this month, but you're not on their radar. They'll never find you, they'll hire someone else. So that deal you never knew was there, that's happening multiple times a month in your industry. Then there's the deals where you are in the room. So whether that's at a networking event, you're competing against someone equally capable. The potential client can't tell the difference between you two on expertise. So they look for something that tips it in their favor. Now, if the person has a book, they pick them, not because they read it, but just because it's evidence, it is proof. It's almost like oh my God, you've just got the answers to my problem right there and I actually want to work with you because you've got this book. And that's costing you deals too. So then there's the fee cost, like the gap between what you're charging and what you should be charging. So if you're at like 5 grand and you should be at 8 grand, that's 3 grand per client you're leaving on the table. Now over a year, that's money you'll never ever see. But honestly, it's not the worst part. The worst part is your intellectual property. So think about the best thing you know how to do. It's like your framework, your methodology, everything that you have inside your business. It's the thing that actually gets the results. I just want to ask you, where is that living right now? Now, it's probably in like your sales calls, it's in your, if you might have a school portal, it's in everywhere that your clients might access, and it's explained to one person at a time, but then it disappears, right? So it's like, yeah, your clients have it, but what about for the people who need to learn from you? your IP never gets packaged. It never gets put into something that works for you while you're sleeping. And the most valuable thing you have, what you actually know, is being spent once and disappearing forever. It's like making this new product every single day instead of building an asset. But here's what I want you to understand. That changes when you write a book. So I want you to imagine this. A complete stranger reads your book. So they're in the car, the passenger seat, or on a plane, they've got time. So they read a few chapters and something happens, right? They understand how you think. They see the framework. They get why your approach is different. They feel like they know you as well because they've understood your story. And when they call you or when they inquire through your website or whatever, they're not calling to see if you're legit. They're calling because they already know who you are. And that conversation is a completely different conversation. So they're not price shopping. They're not comparing you to 3 or 4 other people. They're asking, how do we work together? Because they've read through your book and all they just need is validation of, yeah, you can help me. They already know it. You're just tipping them over the edge. So instead of them doubting you, they're already sold on your thinking. And the fee conversation of how much you charge happens at a completely different level because they understand the investment. And I've watched people raise their rates like 40% after they published a book, not because they got better, but because people were calling pre-sold. Now here's something else that changes. So right now you chase inbound leads. So you network, you pitch, you follow up. But with a book, inbound starts coming to you, not because you're like suddenly famous, because the book just doesn't make you famous. It's because a stranger found your thinking and they actually want to hire you. So it is one of the most powerful things you can do for your business. And here's something weird that happens as well. So when a book is out there in the wilderness doing the work, only the right people contact you through the book. If you position it the right way, of course. But think about this. If someone picks up your book, if they don't resonate with how you think, they'll put it down and move on. But if they do resonate, they read it, they inquire. So by the time you are on a call or you're having an Instagram DM with them, you're not talking to someone who might want to work with you. You're talking to someone who has already bought into your approach. Now here's something weird that happens. When a book is out there doing the work, only the right people are going to call you. So think about it. Someone's going to pick up your book, and if they don't resonate with what you've written, they're going to put it down and move on. But if they do resonate, they'll read it, they'll find a way to get in contact with you because you've written a book about how to help their problem be solved, okay? So by the time you are DMing them or on a call, you're not talking to someone who might work. You're not talking to someone who might want to work with you. You're talking to someone who is already bought into your approach. So what I want you to know is like one manuscript becomes everything. It becomes your keynote speech that's already written. You just frame it for the audience. It comes your content machine, so LinkedIn articles, if you're on LinkedIn, reels, every chapter is something, every paragraph is something. So, you know, you've got quotes, you've got frameworks, you've got principles to work decades for you. And your client onboarding, they get a signed copy of your book, and then it sets the tone for that whole relationship as well. So this is one of the most powerful ways you can grow your business with a book. And you're not creating new content every single day. You've created something once, and it's going to keep working for you for years. So I just want to ask you something right now. How do you position yourself? You might say, oh, we're really good. Our clients love us. We get great results. Everyone does say that. And usually it's true as well because you're so passionate about wanting to make an impact. But with a book, your positioning becomes different. You're the person who wrote the book on the problem that you help solve. And it's not like a claim, it is actually evidence that you've gathered, okay? So a potential client can read it, understand your thinking, know what they're getting. You've moved on from competing on the credentials to actually competing on ideas as well. And ideas are much harder to copy than the credentials that you have. So the compounding thing is, this is the part that actually matters over time. So right now your visibility stays the same, but when you're the author in your space, it compounds. So year one, you've got the book, right? So for example, this is my book, Published to Impact. So you've got the book, people know it exists. Year two, you've been using it everywhere. So your positioning has then changed. You're getting inbound leads constantly, your pricing's moved up. But then year three, you're not chasing clients anymore. You're selective. So you're building things that only you want inside your business. And the book has helped created that platform. So every year, the gap between you and a consultant without a book or a coach without a book grows bigger. Not because you're getting better at the work, but because you're operating in a different marketing bracket entirely than your competitors as well. So you might be thinking, yeah, like sick Blake, but why does a book actually make this much of a difference? Here's why. When someone reads your book, something happens that doesn't happen in any other way. So they're getting to know you without any pressure. They're reading how you think, they're reading what you believe, they're also understanding what matters to you. So then by the time they finish, they feel like they know you, and that is important. They don't feel like they know you personally, but they feel like they know you intellectually, which is enough to make a buying decision. So they know where you stand on the problems they care about, and that creates trust in a way that nothing else does. So like most sales conversations, they start at zero trust. So you meet someone, they don't know you, so they're naturally skeptical. But a book, that person shows up to a call already trusting your thinking. So you've shown up with pages and pages of evidence that you know your shit, you know what you're talking about, and it's a completely different conversation. So here's what I want you to actually think about. Your current situation is working. You're making good money, you've got clients, you love your business, you also hate your business, but then you love it again, but you feel it's capped. So there's a ceiling on how much you can charge, how many calls you can take, how many clients you can win. Not because you're not good enough, of course not, because it's because nobody knows you exist outside the people who have already found you. So your potential situation is different, and you can run ads and give free copies away, and that can generate so much money for you. So you can choose which clients you take. Pricing is based on value, not negotiation. Your market position is solid, your content problem is gone, and your authority is real. So the gap between where you are and where you could be doesn't take 5 years. It takes 6 months, like 6 months to write a fucking book. And then the rest of your career happens in a completely different economic reality. So to finish this video, most people wait. Don't be that person. They wait until they're ready. Wait until they have the time. Wait until they have permission. And 5 years later, they're still fucking waiting. So the person who didn't wait though, they are years ahead. They're operating at a different frequency on a different marketing bracket. They're charging different rates. They're choosing clients instead of chasing clients. The only difference is they stopped waiting and started writing to become an author. So I want you to ask, what would your business look like if you were the one who didn't wait? Now, if you want to explore what it takes to publish a book in 6 months, take an author readiness scorecard below. It's going to actually get you to visualize what it would be like for your business to become an author. And if we can help out, yeah, for sure, that'll be awesome. But at least you're going to know if you are ready to write a book that is going to make more impact, income, and influence in your industry.